Hey guys, this is Pastor Frazier at Canton Baptist Temple, and today our Bible reading was in Matthew chapter 14. There's a lot of great verses in here that I could draw your attention to, but I want us to focus on verse 14, Matthew chapter 14 and verse 14. And Jesus went forth and saw a great multitude and was moved with compassion toward them, and he healed their sick. There's a similar verse back in Matthew chapter 9. I don't know if you remember this verse when we were reading chapter 9, but chapter 9 verse 36 says, "But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd." I want to give you a thought here today, and the thought is this: we need to have the eyes of Jesus. In other words, we need to see people differently. Often we see people as a nuisance or maybe even as a bother. Maybe at times we even get angry at people because of what they've done or maybe because of their opinions that they've shared. Sometimes we see people as hopeless, but Christ never saw people as hopeless because with Christ there's always hope. Jesus always saw people as being needy of Him. They had all kinds of needs, physical needs, mental needs, spiritual needs, and Jesus saw those needs and He wanted to do something about it. Notice the verse says here that He had compassion. Now, compassion is more than just pity. Pity is where you feel sorry for someone or you feel bad for the situation that they're in. Pity really is an emotion, but compassion is emotion plus action. Let me repeat that. Compassion is emotion plus action. In other words, we don't just feel bad about the individual's condition, but compassion is where we are moved to do something about it. In the New Testament, Jesus was moved with compassion 10 times. As a matter of fact, 4 out of those 10 times are recorded for us here in the Gospel of Matthew. I want to read to you Mark chapter 5. Mark chapter 5 and verse 19. Mark chapter 5 and verse 19, if I can find it here. Verse 19. "Howbeit Jesus suffered him not, but saith unto him," and the individual we're talking about here was the man who was possessed by 1,000 demons, legion. And he says here, "Go home to thy friends and tell them how great things the Lord hath done for thee, and hath compassion on thee." When you stop and think about it, Jesus has shown us compassion. We have been the recipients of His compassion, His grace, and His love in our lives. And now we are being admonished to show that same compassion to others. I'm reminded of Jude. Jude verse 22 says, "And of some have compassion, making a difference." We are to make a difference in the lives of others. And we do that not with pity, but we do it with compassion. We have emotion. We ought to be moved by what we see, just like Jesus was moved. But He was always moved with emotion that then resulted in Him doing something to meet the needs of those people. And so here today, the challenge is we need to have the eyes of Jesus. Let's begin to view people differently, knowing that Christ is the answer for them. And let's not just be moved inside, but let's be moved and then let's reach out and let's minister to people. There's a lot of people hurting right now with this pandemic. A lot of people who have been laid off or been furloughed. A lot of people struggling to make ends meet. A lot of people that are just struggling with loneliness right now. We need to reach out and not only just feel sorry for those people, but we need to reach out and make a difference in their lives. Be like Jesus, have the eyes of Jesus, and have the compassion of Jesus. I hope that you've been blessed and challenged by today's devotion. Hit that share button and allow others to see it as well, and we'll see you tomorrow as we look at Matthew chapter 15.